5-Minute Fridays. 5-Minute Fridays are an initiative where I answer a player development question. Player development is defined as the enhancement of the student athlete or the athlete experience through holistic and intentional programming and initiatives. Today's question is, how does one begin to pursue a career in player development? This is one that I hear a lot. I actually shared, I have a two-part video of how I got into player development and how I went from school to school in player development. You could find that video right here, and I'll plug in both of them at the end of the video as well. But I did this a couple years ago. This is a question. This is the number one question I get in this role. And here's a basic 4 to 5 step plan for you to know. Number one, you gotta understand the role. And you coming to this podcast, checking out this video or listening to this video or this podcast or this question is number one, is a great thing, excuse me. So number one, you need to understand the role. The role is maybe not what you see. Maybe you heard about player development because you saw people at community service. You saw people taking students on career tours. You're like, oh, that looks awesome. I want to do that, or I want to make an impact. Take time to truly understand the role. Understand the role because it's going to be a lot more than what you think it is. Number two, you need to define the value that you can provide to the role. So now you've looked at the role, you understand what player development is, you've listened to the player development pod, and y'all, I got hundreds of thousands of videos, almost thousands now, that's crazy. I have a newsletter, I have blogs, so there's no excuse to not know what the role is. But anyway, after you found out what the role is like, then you're like, you know what, this is an area where I can provide value. I can provide value here. So then you take where you can provide value, looking at the role, seeing if there's any gaps and going from there. So you know what the role is, you know what value you can provide. Number three, now you need to connect with people, start reaching out, this is, what I think about. You're in the role, you're going to reach out to people in the role and you're going to say, hey, can I, and don't say, what is player development? Find something, right? Most of them have already been on the podcast and done an interview. They're going to tell you that, right? They've done interviews with a lot of different people, right? Find something specific to get from that person, right? Get something from that person in the role, but connect, start reaching out, start building those connections, because that's how people get hired. That was three. Number four, you need to have a plan. You need to have a plan. And this one actually should be number 3. We'll talk about it. So number 4 would actually be connect. Number 3 would be you need to have a plan. Y'all figure it out. I'm not stopping this unedited. Have a plan. You need to have a plan of what you would do in the player development role. Now, if you need help with that plan and you're saying, man, I need to create a plan. I just learned about the role. Hey, we have the player development blueprint plan workshop, or the player development plan blueprint workshop, where I help you create a blueprint plan to use in player development. That link is in the show notes, okay? So you can get the plan workshop. So number 1, understand the role. Number 2, look at the value you can provide. Number 3, have a plan. Number 4, connect. And then number 5, follow up. When you connect with people, they're gonna allow you into their space. They're gonna allow you to ask questions. They're gonna allow you to do a lot of things. You need to follow up. That is one of the biggest things I see people fall off on, not following up. You want to get in a role, you're asking about how to get in player development. If you meet with someone who gives you a chance to talk to them and learn from them, and you see a podcast, whatever, follow up. I had an incredible call with a student. Her name is Delaney Roth. Delaney did an incredible job of on the call. I knew she had listened to podcasts. I knew she had did everything. She did an incredible job of reaching out and following up after our call. So literally got off the call, she followed up immediately. But one thing she did in that call was she asked me rapid fire questions, which was crazy. If you have listened to any podcast that I've done with another professional in this space, I ask rapid fire questions. But I will never forget Delaney Roth because she did that. She understood the role. She told me the value she could provide. She does psychology. She talked about that. She had a plan. Okay, this is what she came to the workshop, had a plan. We connected. She showed me she cares about it. And then she followed up. She even followed up after the workshop. She's at the workshop and then followed up again. So those are 5 ways to help you get in the role. Now, my time is running out because remember, this is 5 minutes unedited. So when it goes off, it goes off. If you love this question, if you thought this question helped you so much, please press the like button, but also go into the show notes and get the 100 player development tips or tips of player development. As I always say, go out and create generational impact. Don't wait, create that generational impact today. Oh, gotta go, bye.